So Renee had to draft the team as well too. And then we had our fourth GM was Nikki McCoy and Chris Winkler as well too. So for the first time ever, we had 4 female general managers, 4 drafted teams, 4 different names, and let's see how it plays out. I thought it was a very interesting draft in general out there. You got drafted. You're on the blue team.
Interesting is one word to describe the draft.
It's new blood. It's always good to have new blood out there as well too, and see how it plays out. So we had 4 New York teams all Scott as well too. Let's start with the rec division. Okay. We have an east and a west section now, subdivision as well too. I don't know the team name of each division overall, but so far we've played.
I mean, you don't know. You're the one that put the.
I do, but I've not memorized it by now. We've played 3 weeks.
It's not in my contract to memorize teams.
No, I've never memorized. We played 3 weeks so far. Yeah. Let's go ahead and just look at all 12 teams. How about that, one by one?
Yeah.
Start with the defending champions, 500 major.
Okay.
They, I believe, are 1-1-1, if I recall correctly. Am I right?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
So,
1-1-1.
We'll go with that.
1-1. Yeah, at least I know they lost last week and they're tied.
Not a lot of pre-production that goes into these tapings, folks.
It's all ad lib here. But your thoughts on the 5 inch? Can they repeat what you saw so far? What you've seen so far?
I mean, they have the talent. I think. And
no new additions. No new additions.
Well, every season it's the same question for the majors: is their entire roster going to show up?
Excellent point. Excellent point.
And I think, thank you very much, Todd Bassman, everybody.
Hi, Todd. How are you?
It's the same question every year for the majors. If their entire roster shows up, they can beat anybody. It's the consistency in the regular season and then into the playoffs. I think, in general, every team wants to show up for the playoffs. So as long as you meet that 3-game eligibility requirement, it's fair game for anybody. So
good point.
I mean,
one caveat. One of the scorers, Dean Young, is hurt. I'm told it's a big loss. He's the secondary, tertiary scorer out there. He got hurt somehow, something like ice hockey, so he'll be out for a while. But if they lose D, it's going to hurt a lot. But you're right.
Even so, though, they have other people. They have David.
Paul Lucci.
They have Todd. They have Paul Lucci. I mean, they have players. It's just, again, if those players show up, they're a force to be reckoned with. If they're scrambling for players like a couple other teams in the league, it seems every week are scrambling for emergency subs, then that becomes a hodgepodge and it becomes very unpredictable, because if you're constantly scrambling for emergency subs, you don't have that chemistry with your team, and you don't have that cohesion that is necessary to build a deep and sustained playoff.
Good point. Now, I'll take team number 2. I'll take the Green Bay Boogies.
Yeah.
Boogies, I thought, have obviously a lot of continuity. You guys have a lot of continuity out there.
Absolutely, yeah. Our entire roster has returned.
There you go. So that much is out there. I know you added one new player. Joe Sharko's girlfriend is now playing for you guys in the full class. She actually looked pretty good. She looks pretty
very good. You know what? It's funny because she stepped for a game for us last season against the Scavs when we were shorthanded to where we were like, can anybody please play for us? We will take a homeless person and put him on the roster. We just need players. And, it was funny. He was like, she doesn't really have much hockey experience, but she can play. And she actually did very, very well, to where I was like, can you please play for us next season? So she's actually doing very well. I think as a whole, our players are improving. Diane Lecker has improved a lot on defense.
And you know what? I agree with that. And let me tell you, the referees, you may know those guys, the referees have their own happy hour. They have after every Sunday, after a long 10-hour day, we go out to Bar Louie, sit down and go over all the games, go over all the players. So believe me, guys, we compare notes. We know all the players. We know who takes cheap shots, who plays a little edgy. We know the team style. It's good for us to get together on that stuff, actually. And the one thing that I mentioned on last Sunday, and I've seen it for a while now, but I've verbalized to my referee mates out there, and they agreed, to be one of the most underrated females in the game is Wiley Ruberg.
Yes,
She's
Wiley.
become an unbelievable player. She forechecks the heck out of players, makes clean passes, can score, can pass. She has become an unbelievable player in just one season. Her development to me has been unbelievable, personally. And all my referees, Ryan and Neil and Tom, agree with me as well, too. Shout out to Wiley. That's what we want to do in a league like this. We want to develop players. See Wiley develop.
Well, being married to Daniel,
it helps. But it only helps so much.
But at the end of the day, no. As the captain of the as just the captain of the Green Bay Boogies, very impressed with all my players. In that every season we've been in the league, everybody has improved.
right.
And in the case of Diane and Wiley, they have improved tremendously, and I'm very proud of them.
Yeah,
and,
that's got body too.
Again, part of the reason that the Boogies are as good as they are, and particularly even last season, was because of the improvement of our players.
It's continuity and improvement.
Yes,
you know, that's a big thing in DCHL.
And we all like each other.
Yeah, continuity and improvement is very, very important out there overall. So that's the Boogies right there. Number 3 team, I'm taking the Babylon Warriors. Your thoughts of Babylon Warriors so far?
Who cares about the Warriors? No.
I didn't say that, by the way, guys. That was Jason, by the way.
Yeah.
Good.
Jason and his 3 soon-to-be-4 units. The Warriors are a good team. A lot of classy players in there. Pretty much the same thing as the Boogies. They have continuity. A lot of the players returning from last season. They played together for a while. They know each other's strengths and know each other's weaknesses.
Don't they have one key addition this year? They have one key addition. A guy by the name of Mark Miger.
Yes.
Who's a candidate for Rookie of the Year.
He
Excellent skill player.
He scored on me twice, if not 3 times this week.
That's right.
Yeah.
Got guy skills now.
I hate you, Mark.
They have Jeff King, they have JP, and they have Mark. They have goal scorers now. That helps a lot overall. They have lost Mari part-time. She stopped playing. She travels a lot in this time of year.
Also recently engaged. Congratulations to
Yes,
Mari.
that's right. On Facebook, is that last week she was a great. Congrats, Mari. Great job there as well too. She's traveling now, so basically, she's gonna play part-time. But they have depth there. Tessa's playing well. They got Kelly there. Christina is a phenom. She plays as well too. They have Wendy Jason, one of the best players in the league out there. But getting Mark may be that extra piece to get the extra score they need, I think.
Well,
that to me puts them as a slight favorite right now in my mind.
Again, having gone against them in net this past Sunday, I can tell you that that's a pretty fair assessment.
There you go.
He's got a quick shot. Mark has a quick shot. Again, a little bitter against him, but that'll pass.
All right, the 14. Let's talk about 14. Let's talk about the Untouchables. Before Stingrays first. Stingrays.
Tell me about
Stingrays. Stingrays.
Again, a good team. They got Dean Eastlake, who is again one of the better players in the league, certainly in rec, if not the entire league.
Correct.
They've lost a couple players. I don't think Scott Lynn can attend Sundays.
He's hurt now, so.
Oh, is he?
He's injured.
Yeah,
he's got some injuries that she's dealing with right now.
Yeah.
But they got back Sean Moore.
Yes.
Sean Moore, speed demon.
They have Gordon.
They have Gordon, yeah. So I mean, they've gained with Sean Moore, and they've improved. They have more offense now.
Right.
And now remember, it's their second year together. This is a brand new team last season.
Right.
Second year of continuity and chemistry. They have some strong female players in Christina and Lauren as well too.
Well, looking at historically speaking, at least since I've been in the league, new teams really hit their stride in their second season. We saw with 2 Jackson Coke in their second season. They went to the championship. We saw with the Boogies last season. We're upset by the Stingrays, but made a lot of noise in the regular season. I think historically, again, new teams in their second season, they really find their groove. They really gain familiarity with one another, and that's where you see things start to roll.
Absolutely. Good point.
Very interesting to see how the Stingrays perform this season, but I think, again, if that trend repeats itself, they would do very well.
15 we're talking about right now, it would be I'll talk about them as the Untouchables. A team that actually split up, and they've added, they have Fabian, they had John Gramlich, probably the best player is John Gramlich, but they also had a speed demon, the MDHL star in Greg D'Amico.
Yeah.
And now they got 3 guys who can skate, pass, and shoot, and score. So far they haven't scored many goals yet, but I think they're going to find their stride here. To me, they were my preseason #1 favorite to win the cup because of all the talent they have. They've always had good goaltending. They've always had grinding teams.
George and Ned is
but now they've scored. Now they're scoring too. So if they can score some goals, I right now would pick. If I had to pick right now, it would be between the Babylon Warriors and this team right here. For Chester.
Yeah.
I don't think they're good too. Boogies are good too. Pyramids are good too. Stingers are good too as well too. But I would favor those two. Just they have a slight edge, I believe, my personal opinion.
Well, the addition of Greg to the Untouchables is huge. I played against him on Wednesdays in the Wednesday League. He is fast.
Yes.
He is extremely fast. So, and that is what really wants, I think in rec particularly, I mean, pro certainly, but in rec, if you have a speedy player going against rec players who maybe haven't played as much hockey, that's just such a huge advantage.
Absolutely. And they picked up Erin Evans, a great female player who plays both RHL and DCHL as well too. They've got some new female players that looks pretty good too. Natalie as well too. So they're doing well from that standpoint. Very solid team as well. The sixth team that I would rank overall right now would be the Moose Assassins.
Yes.
Chris Thorpe's group, Kathleen Teal in goal. Chris Thorpe has got a solid group out there with Ian, with Isaac as well, and Jacob there as well too. They're playing well. They had gotten off to a 2-0 start. They lost last week in a very tough loss, 1-goal game. They're 2-1. But are they a team that you feel can make a run and be in the top 2 or 3 spot in the rec?
They certainly have the potential. This is another team that has played together for a while. Not necessarily in this league, but they all know each other. They're all friends.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, they certainly have the ability to do so. It just depends if it all comes together. And if Chris Thorpe is on his game, Chris Thorpe by far is the leading scorer on that team.
Correct.
And I think we saw a couple games last season. I think we saw a couple games last season when you take Chris Thorpe out of the game, or if Chris Thorpe is off his game for whatever reason, that does take away some of their scoring ability. And other teams, if they take advantage, can pounce them.
Correct. Good point. But they're a team, if they get in a run, they can certainly make a bigger run too.
Yeah.
They belong on the top 6.
Well, they're a team you can never count out.
No,
Just
absolutely.
when you think they're down and out, they score 3 or 4 goals in a period, and they're right back in the game.
Absolutely. There you go. That's top 6. Let's go to team number 7. I have number 7 rated as Stick Magnets.
Yes.
Along with the Street Chucks. Stick Magnets, formerly known as License to Thrill. Name change. Roster doesn't change much though. Same roster coming back. Barb, Jess, very strong female crew. Alison Sneed there as well. To Nikki there as well. Chris Winkler on offense. David Kramer on offense. Andrews, Gladfer, and Grant. Jason Block in the second season in the Nets. Got off to a good start. They're 2-1 right now. Yes. I'm sorry, they're 1-1 right now. They had to buy this week.
Yeah, they had to
buy overall. So team has looked good so far. They could score goals last season. They played well. They scored goals this season out there. Can they crack the top 6? Do you think?
Again, I mean, the thing about rec that I've seen pretty much across the board is that any team can crack that top 6. It depends on familiarity throughout the season. It depends on if the rosters show up, their full rosters show up. And, you know, a little bit of it is luck, obviously. A little bit of are the bounces going your way.
Breaks.
Yeah.
Schedule the right time with the right players missing. It's all breaks. There's a lot of fortune involved in it as well, too, yes.
Yeah, I mean, again, they have the potential. Can they get past teams like the Stingrays, like the Untouchables, like the Warriors?
The real top players.
Those will be the real test for them.
Right.
They lost to the Boogies, not this week, but the week before.
That's right, you guys beat them, exactly.
Yeah, they had a bye week this week, so I will be very interested to see how the Stick Magnets match up against the upper tier teams as we rank them from last season. It'll be interesting to see like how they play against the Warriors, against the Mooses, against the UT, stuff like that.
Right, good point out there. Number 8 team, or again, this is all just preliminary rankings out there. Street Sharks, who got off to a great start again. They're 2-0 right now.
Yeah.
And playing well. A team that has a little change in their top level captaincy. Mike Staley is taking over captaincy right now. Had one new player added on who's supposed to be pretty good. So a team that's got positive energy, I believe, and a team playing well right now. They're 2-0. Street Sharks. I mean, question. Last season they had a great start.
They did.
They fizzled at the end somewhat. They out there. Some of the experts like myself thought they were probably playing over their heads early on. Is 2-0 a proper reflection of where they are? Are they a top 6 team in your opinion?
Again, I don't know. In general, this early in the season, I'm hesitant to call any team a top tier and a bottom tier.
Put your spot here. What you've seen so far in 2 games.
I mean,
in 2 games, they've had a bye first week. Yes.
They have the talent. I mean, again, I know I've said that several times already. They have goal scorers. They have great goaltending.
Dave Sadu,
Jeff,
Dave, and Chuck.
And again, I think Jeff is one of the better butterfly goalies in the league.
Correct.
I think anytime you have Jeff in net, you can't be counted out. So
let's give Brian Swim, good player as well, Dave Sadu, and a guy who's probably still the most underrated player in the league, and Mike Ashley. He scores goals left and right. This guy is just, he plays for a team that doesn't get too much publicity.
I will say something that jumped out to me this week, this past Sunday, and I
wasn't there to tell
brought this up.
Okay.
They've improved defensively.
That's a key point. Good point.
And especially I want to call out Olga on the Sharks. Last season I saw her playing deep in the neutral zone, which kind of takes a player out of it, so that where you're playing with a man disadvantage because your defenseman is so far back that they can't keep the puck in. She was pushing up this game, and she was doing a great job of keeping the puck in play. Every time I go up the board, she push up, keep it in play. That will be the key for the Sharks.
Good point.
If their defense has truly improved, that will be the key for them, and that will be what pushes them in the top six.
Excellent point. You're right. Defense was one of Achilles' heel last season out there. This season, if they're going to improve, that's what they have to work on. And so far, from what we've seen so far, they've been pretty good overall. Let's talk about the other four teams. Let's start off with the Irate Puck Assassins, the new team out there. They haven't lost yet.
Are they irate or are they insane?
They're irate. I believe it's Irate Puck. I think it's Irate.
I think it's Irate now.
Yeah.
Irate Puck Assassins.
I'm pretty sure it was Irate. It never was insane, but okay. I'm pretty sure.
I heard it was insane.
I've had some alcohol, so I don't remember anymore, but I'm pretty sure it's Irate. It's Irate Puck Assassins, and they have.
Anytime you have just Sheehan on your team, results maker.
I won't touch that one actually. They've played 2 games and they have they're undefeated. They haven't lost yet. Now they haven't won those games either. They're both ties, but they haven't lost yet. For especially begin, that must be a record. I go on the record now. That is a record for expansion team. Not a team like the Puck Boys put together. Expansion team. First 2 games haven't lost. That's a record. They got 2 points out of it, which is great. So, your thoughts on IPA and what you've seen so far?
Well, again, we taped IPA's game this Sunday.
It's
so if you haven't seen it, see it. It's entertaining. They've got a lot of the UT players. They've got CJ on the team.
Steve Kaiser, Rob Montree.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So they have those guys on the team to form that nucleus, and then they've got a
good mixture.
Yeah, they've got a good mixture of other players. This week in particular, what I saw from the video is Kevin Shea, the goaltender, played very, very well to keep his team in it. Scabs outshot
IPA,
IPA by I think 10 goals by the time it was all said.
10 shots on goal, yeah. 10 by 10 overall.
Shots on goal, yeah. So they had more shots on net, but they were able to stay in the game because of that. If that continues, the strength of their goaltending continues. Again, I don't think you can count any team out of any contest when you have the strength in net.
Got it. Excellent point. One thing, they got a lot of veterans. Todd Fierst, a 78-year-old player coming over. Gary Sarnoff, a veteran as well too. But they have also you too in Blake Harvey, Mac, Brendan Mahardy. So a lot of good shows available too. Let's get to the. We got about 2 minutes to go, 2.5 minutes to go on this particular segment here.
Yeah.
Let's get to the other team. Talk about the Scabs. They got the tie 2-2. A lot of new faces there. For the first time ever, I've seen Scabs with 3 lines in 3 games in a row. I mean, what's going on? Apparently, Shawnee recruited, got some new female players, got some ice hockey players. They're not scoring goals yet, but they're learning. Again, it's a team that's pretty much brand new, learning as well too. Your thoughts on the Scabs?
Well, again, they got the shots on net this last game against IPA. I think defense is still a factor for them.
They have John Robson-Nets.
Right, but they have John Robson-Net.
He almost steal a game or 2, yeah.
Right, so I mean, I think that would be the biggest thing for it is if they solidify their defense, and I noticed this week too in filming the game, there was some confusion over line changes and who should be out at a certain time, and so as long as they smooth those things out, again, I think the Scabs will be a very talented team.
Agreed. Let's get the last 2 teams here. We got about 100 seconds to go here, and on the podcast for the second overall, Triple Deeks, team that carried over, team that's pretty new to the Rockville surface, and got some new players, got some veteran players as well too. As you've seen, basically in terms of what we have seen so far, can they adjust? Are they a team that doesn't to struggle, or are they going to adjust like the ball gags? We call it ball gags that went to DC recruiters last season. They have trouble adjusting this particular venue right now. Your thoughts?
I think they'll adjust. It just depends on how quickly. They have the talent from what I've seen of their games. They have the talent to make some noise, but again, playing in a new venue is always tough, at least for the early season, the first 3-4 games of the season. That's I think where the toughest adjustment freshman period is.
Agree. I think Tom in goal. Tom's a veteran goalie. They got to get some goal scoring done. They're having trouble scoring goals right now, so we'll see how it works out. Last team we're going to talk about actually is two Jackson Coke. Okay, new captain. Jake is part-time this year.
Yep.
Josh Kump and Kieran on campus now. They got some new players as well, too. Got some of their friends buddy in there. Team is playing well. I mean, they're a grinding team. They picked Todd Bascom. Todd over there playing goal for Jackson Coke this season as well, too. In 10 seconds or less, tell me your thoughts on Jackson Coke.
Schedules or roster still in flux, but they have the potential to come out of the basement.
Absolutely. I think key goal scoring. They play tough. Yes. Goal scoring will be key for these well teams. So there you go. All 12 teams in the rec division. Back momentarily with the pro division here very shortly in 2-2. Stick us at